like a pint jar. If you could stuff a pint jar completely full of oil.
Okay.
And I mean like almond oil probably, or olive oil you could use.
Olive oil, okay.
And then fill it full of flowers and cover it with oil to where everything's covered, and then just lid it really tightly. That would be your mullein ear oil. When you're ready to use it, you just strain out the flowers from the oil and then cap the oil and keep the oil in a cool place.
Put it directly
it's
in
mullein?
your ear.
Mullein, yeah.
Mullein.
M-U-L-L-E-I-N.
Mullein for
mullein
ear
for
infections. Immerse it.
I'm not totally sure. I think it's also used for skin, but it's gummy because feel it. Like, so you can feel how sticky it is. And when they really get starting to flower, they're super duper sticky.
Jeez, it's like pine sap.
But that's green.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it smells. I mean, you can tell why Native Americans were probably drawn to these plants, or herbalists from like the 17 and 1800s, because they have kind of they're sort of jumping out at you, right? They're like, they have a funky smell.
Right.
They have this tall thing.
Right, yeah. Exactly. They'll stand out.
And Grindalia is that one. And you can...
Yeah, it was a lady who was really into gardening and planting things like native stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Potentia used to be used back in the olden days for saddle sores. So when the cowboys or the Indians got into camp, they would go out and forage for the flowers and the leaves from this plant and put it in a big vat, and then they would knock it down and turn it into a wash with the water from the creek. And then they would pour it over the backs of the horses or pack it in poultice form right on the saddle sores, because it's excellent for healing skin. That's a whole patch of strawberries you got there. These guys, I can't... It'll come
Strawberries.
to me. This is actually the mycelium from this particular mushroom, because you just don't know. Like, there's so much out here.
Right.
But the only way, really, for these pine or these needles to turn into soil is with water and that white stuff. So that's how important the mushrooms really are.
To break it down, right?
To the decomposition and to creating soil in our forest floor. It's really the only... There are bacteria in there too. Soil bacteria that help to break things down. But, so one thing about this one is, I think we're really in that. So this is a guild mushroom. This is the agaricus. I think I was a little bit too far ahead. And the bolete family is easy to identify because of the spongy bottom.
Okay.
So that has, although these don't. Oh, that's bulbity. It's 54. Okay, so this is the family, and the things that we'll be looking for here are fleshy, easily rotting fruiting bodies consisting of a cap, a central stalk, and many tiny tubes arranged vertically. So some mycologists and some books will call them pores because it's porous like skin, but really they're long tubes instead of being gills.
Oh, okay.
So they're tubes arranged vertically on the underside of the...
So if you scratch the stalk and it stays white, then it's the bolete choice.
Yes, then it could be this mushroom.
Okay,
right
the
here.
one that we're looking for.
Because when you cut this thing wide open, if you get a fresh specimen of it, it is so white.
So pure white, huh?
And
okay.
so delicious. So
yeah, you can totally see the gray, huh? Okay, so
stain gray.
Yes, so we don't want the gray, huh? We're looking for something that stays white, huh? Okay.
That's more white. Okay. So, and you know, the shape is a little different than like this wide kind of bulb on the bottom. So that it's just. But this is a really common mushroom, and it is totally edible.
Okay.
Can absolutely eat this one. There's nothing that's poisonous that that you're gonna, that you would mistake it for. Okay. But again, here it says edible.
With caution.
Yeah. So Poison Center receives occasional reports of serious gastric problems.
Okay.
From eating moderate amounts of orange caps.
I was thinking when I saw it.
Yeah, so this is one of the little puff balls that we find pretty commonly here in Colorado.
Are all of the puff balls edible or not?
I don't know if any that are inedible, but there's some that kind of look like puff balls that aren't. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Okay. This is the family Lycoperdales. I'm not sure how to actually pronounce it. Okay. In Latin, but this one is really big. This one gets really big. I found one of these yesterday.
Like how big?
Basketball.
Really?
Like big. Like I can't believe it. And I've seen them in the Midwest. I remember like being a kid and seeing them. but it's called the giant puffball in the Midwest.
Okay.
This book doesn't go into great detail on the puffballs, but it looks like we might have one
That
of these
looks similar,
here.
yeah.
You know, this is close, but we don't have those little pointy pokies coming out of this one. It's more of a smooth top. This one, so these are kind of some of the, they're not gilled, and they don't have pores, so they fall into the family of not Basidiomycetes or Ascomycetes, but Gastromycetes. So here's some of the other ones. This one looks a little similar, but they do, you know, they are really cool because this is the one that I was telling you, like the spores when they dry. This one's, I'm not going to say that it's edible because it looks a little old. Okay. It's not totally bright white fresh. Okay. But I have a little boy who's 6, and his favorite thing is like to take and squeeze into the flesh. This one's not there yet, but like but then when it dries, you can go.
Just flies out kind of like dandelion.
Yeah, and then all the spores will come out. But most of the spores are in there, and that's the one that's used for fire tinder.
And cuts and stuff.
Yeah, you can use the dried ones. Were actually in some cases mixed with spider webs to create a poultice to put on for stopping bleeding.
Something, yeah.
Here's another little one here.
Alright, sorry guys, I gotta spray myself. I'm getting bit like nuts.
Yeah, it's probably...
They like
Anybody
you?
else want
I'm
some?
okay so far.
Okay.
Alright, here's another little... This is kind of a cool looking LBM because it's not totally brown. Oh, this might be similar to what we've just found because it doesn't have...
Oh, just a mini.
Scales. Yeah, it's just a little mini one, a mini lacinum. See if it stains. But... yeah, everything's getting a little bit dry because we haven't had rain for a bit. But porous underside. Super cute.
Did that one turn gray or?
I don't know if it's going to. Hasn't yet. It's kind of stained a little bit orange right there. Orange-ish.
So little, it's kind of hard to tell.
I'm going to go back and take a look and just see.
Go zoom in on it so we know what it looks like.
So this one has the spinies. I don't know how macro you can get with that thing, but it's got the little spiny porkies. So we can get this one down there.
Okay, so this is
maybe
edible.
Right to species.
Well.
Lycoperdon perlatum. Pretty close match, I would say.
Yes, that looks spot on, huh? Yep.
With those, what do we? It says it's a widespread mushroom. It's called the gem-studded puffball because of the distinctive pattern left by the loose spines on the surface when they drop off. Clustered on rotting wood, it has white root-like strings at the base, and it lacks deciduous spines. To prevent mistaking the dangerous amanita buttons for edible puffballs, slice the puffballs from the top to the bottom and examine for immature gills and stalk. Puffballs at the edible stage should be white all the way through. She says in the book,
okay,
it has
so
like
cut
these
it
little
open,
stringies.
no red, huh? And then it's edible. Okay.
It's got those little stringies. It's pretty, like those are pretty hardy little stringies.
Do you want it in a different bag, or should we put it with this little edible guy?
We can put that one. When we get back, we can cut it open. Okay. But I'd say that's our edible mushroom bag at this point. What's going on with them, or it? I'm not sure if it's one or more. It looks like it's kind of a pair.
Okay, but you know it's not a Matsutake.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Matsutake because it's not white enough.
Okay.
Yep, got gills. So Matsutake is more of a toothed fungi. We can really see the mycelium here in the ground. All the other creatures that are nibbling on it. Not edible, I would say. Not really one we're looking for.
Okay.
It almost looks like it started to fruit, but then it got dry and it stopped.
Dried out too.
So, but this is all wormholes. And when you're looking for the boletes, when you find them and you see all those wormholes in there, either you're going to be eating the worms. Polypores, and these are. Okay. So, like right here.
Look how pretty this one is.
Yeah, and these are doing the job of decomposing this tree. They're breaking it down, letting it go back into the earth.
That's the spider web.
Cool.
And some of these are really medicinal. The polypores tend to be one of the world's best-selling anti-cancer drugs is called PSK. It's a derivative of the turkey tail mushroom. Something's munching on them. These look like the one that we found right over there. That was by the puffballs.
The one that have the dry, cool pattern on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like some.
So because the creatures are eating them,
It has that
Like
white
that.
stalk.
It does, but it's gilled.
Okay.
So that's
right,
a really
it's not
good
the
way.
sponginess. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
okay.
that's how you can tell that it's not the porcini.
Right.
Because
okay.
it has the gills.
Okay. So this is not a porcini because of the gills. It doesn't have
But
the
it does
spongy
have the bulbous
pores.
stem, which is really interesting. So I want to see if we can I'd be able to figure out what this one is. So
I don't think I've ever had a morel. Have you, Willie?
I think just from those folks at the farmer's market.
I don't think there was morels
they don't
in
have
there.
them because
no.
they can't be grown commercially.
Right.
Nobody's
Really?
been able to figure out how
See,
to
you
grow.
can only get them by picking them. Right.
And this is the first year in all these years.
Well, that's
doing
wild.
mycology
Isn't
that
that cool?
I found Colorado morels.
Really?
And they're in the Ascomycetes family. This is what they look like.
This is what a morel looks like.
Marcella augusticeps.
Wait, this one?
Here.
Right
This
here?
one. Yeah.
That's
not here.
what they
This
call
one.
the morel.
This is the Colorado black morel.
Okay.
There's also in the Midwest you find more of the giant and the golden morel, which look like this, but they are
they
here.
weird looking?
But whoa, do they taste good? They're
Yeah.
very distinct taste. They're choice edible.
Okay, so the look-alike for the morel is the stinkhorn or the witch's egg, and it's slimy. And we're going to look
so
at
that's
a
how you can
picture
tell
of
the
it.
difference. So this is, see how it kind of has the same,
Yes, that pattern.
but it's
Right.
coming up out of these eggs,
Okay, so it's got like an egg at the bottom of the stem.
and it smells bad.
And it
Okay.
smells
That's why
bad
it's
and
called the
it's
stink,
slimy.
and it's
Yeah?
slimy. So
Okay.
those are all the ways. But these, I've
Okay.
seen like people call me and they're like, I have a whole patch of morels in my yard. I'm like,
Nope, huh?
sorry to disappoint.
Okay.
But that's not going to make your tummy feel good.
Okay.
Sacred soma, meaning that it's the.
Oh yeah, you can see the.
Yeah.
the little white tufts on the top, and its only reason it's not bright red is because it's a little faded from being orangish.
Take a
Okay.
bite. Take a bite.
No, this we do not want to eat,
You
guys.
don't have to work tomorrow. You'll probably do it.
This is a psychedelic mushroom. Don't.
You don't really want to go by that for sure.
Yeah, the animals want some
But-
visions. Huh?
And this year, I've never really seen them get flat out like that. But this year, they're really like flattening out like a spaceship top.
Right, instead of having that more toadstooly look.
And
Maybe
just
because of the
handling it
dryness?
isn't going to
Yeah.
make you. It's not going to make you hallucinate.
Okay.
Hallucinate. It's not going to hurt you.
Doesn't go across your
But
skin.
you eat
Okay.
it, your tummy's probably going to start to hurt
Okay.
after a little while.
Ugh.
It might get really hot or cold.
I don't.
That's really pretty.
That is pretty.
Coming up double or something?
Triple.
Like a little family of them popping out there. I was hoping to find some that have a veil, because the veil is another identifying characteristic.
What is a veil?
So, yeah, this is a veiled one. Cool.
It is? Okay.
So the veil on the really little ones is still attached. The veil is what's connecting the cap to the stem. See how it's like that?
Like a wedding veil or something,
It's like a
huh?
spidery.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of looks like a spider web, but on the more mature mushroom, it's already broken.
Okay.
So sometimes when you're reading your mycology guides, the stem, the veil is broken or the veil is attached. So when they, right now it's still attached on the smaller one because it's going across there.
Okay.
This is a partially attached veil, but as it gets bigger, that's going to totally not be there. But you'll see in identifying that there's veil remnants.
Okay.
Is one way to tell.
Okay.
Can we eat it?
This one looks like it could possibly be edible and not an LBM, so we're going to just do a quick run through in the book and see if you want to hold it and maybe try to stain that one.
Sure.
To see if it's staining, because again, it kind of looks like that Rusula.
Oh, gross.
What happened?
Big old centipede. I mean, it wasn't big, but yeah. Yeah, it just freaked me out. Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
eat 'em too.
Oh, yeah, he is on there. Okay. So I'm just going to scrape it a little to see if it stains, right? Okay.
This one is saying anything about a veil.
Okay. Do I have to scrape a ton of it, Wendy, or just the very...
No, just one
okay.
little spot is
Okay.
fine. It says
You
white,
try it.
staining ash gray at injury with age, especially inside 4 to 10 centimeters long. The flesh is firm, white, turning gray, mild taste, and that's the peppery one. And it says it's late summer and fall under lodgepole pines and other conifers, which is right where we are.
Right.
What's the elevation? We're probably-
About 9,000.
Right, that's right where we are too.
Okay.
So this is called declarans because it's Latin for changing colors.
Okay, well, it sure looks like it, doesn't And it has veils? Did it say veils?
It has a red-orange top. I don't see anything about a veil, which it would say that.
If it had it,
Yeah,
right?
if it
Okay,
had
so
it,
that's
so-
probably not it, right? Is
So,
that what
right,
you're saying?
yes,
Okay, right.
exactly. I want to just make sure that doesn't say anything about veil. Seeing nothing about veil in that picture. Yeah, no veil. It's not talking about a veil with this one either. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but because intuitively I feel like it might be an edible mushroom. But did we smell it? Does it smell like Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like the veil between the worlds,
Right,
or the veil,
yeah.
right? You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
because they have veils, I think that's cool. And super hardy mycelium
So pretty.
going through there. I kind of like the way they smell.
I like those.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
too. Yeah, we both smelled it. We did.
I want to just check the
Sure. Yeah.
check it out and see if it's close up. The stalks look similar. Large, violet cap, fading to pinkish brown with age, with in-rolled margins, violet attached gills, sturdy, and see that meaning attached is that it's attached to the stalk.
Ah, okay.
So that sturdy violet stalk with no ring, on ground, and that was totally on the ground. Not seeing anything else. And then what does it say? Flesh is dull purple, lilac, fading to pallid, thick, soft, pliant, odor faintly fragrant, taste mild.
It smells nice.
Yeah, that one.
It does, huh? Yeah.
Just want to make sure that.
It looks a little old, but
Yeah, the
Right.
littler one might be okay.
Right, like this one right here.
All right, Cortinarias have distinctly rusty spore prints. Similarly shaped species of the genus Cortinarias have distinctly rusty spore prints and a partial veil present as a cobweb-like cortina and are usually found fruiting in mountain ecosystems. So this could be not the Cleidocybe muta, but the Cortinarias, because it does. Yeah, so this one says that the nuda has an the partial veil is absent. So this is not the nuda.
This is not the nuda.
It is the Cortinarius,
Okay.
and we might be able to find out about if
Cortinarius
that's
in a different
edible
spot. Okay.
to see. But see how like close it can be. I mean, it's a
Yes.
purple mushroom. You just
Right.
don't see many of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cortinarius, it does have the attached gills. See how it kind of this one also has that.
Yeah. That.
The bulbous shape, this one
Right.
still has that,
Yeah.
so it can get right down there. Partial veil present as a cobweb-like cortina. Cortinarius. Let's see.
There is the psychedelic poisonous Santa Claus mushroom.
They do like them. We usually go out in the fall and I try to get a bunch of
just
them.
like one of these.
I think
one
they're
of the darker ones.
yeah, they're really good at expelling, detoxifying.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's a good just little trail nibble to kind of freshen your breath. And when you're out,
I'm going to try.
You see a blue one, Lex?
I
Yeah.
want to go for the
Is
blues.
this good?
Yes, that's
And
perfect.
these are probably blues from last year, so they're not super.
Are you sure these are safe?
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
positive.
Yeah.
But like the ones that are going to be turning now, these greens will all turn blue, and then they'll be really good. Like November. That's when you put
Really? Okay.
coal in it. And the Native Americans use this. They would dry it out as a smoking mixture,
Okay.
and they would smoke it, and it's actually quite medicinal.
Here's a red one.
Kinnikinnick.
Kinnikinnick, yeah, bearberry is the other common word for it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't like the way the berries taste very much, but I usually harvest a little bit of this just to keep in my apothecary for winter teas because it's really good at, I think it's a good lung herb.
Here's another poisonous mushroom.
That one is Rusula.
Rusula. Real
There are
white
some really
stem,
delicious Rusula mushrooms.
but not
So
this
it's-
one.
Yeah, so it's good to know which ones you can't eat as
Yes. Okay.
well. This is herbal medicine and emetic. Makes you throw up.
Ooh.
So this is one that you would definitely throw up from
Oh gosh. Yeah.
if you were to eat it. With
Huh.
the gills there. Very bright red.
Wow, cool.
Very poisonous. And then, this one is edible.
Yeah. Look at that.
So, but
it
it's
looks
not
totally
red.
different, right? Yeah.
And then this one is the Rusula pallidosa. Could be that one actually. Does it have more red on the stem or is
Yeah,
it bright
it's
white? Yep.
part
So
of the
this is
stem.
probably the pallidosa also again.
Okay, yeah.
Red
not
is red.
recommended. Yeah, red's
Don't
the
not want to
warning
eat.
thing.
Don't want to eat.